let us talk about Ava for a moment. You and I both know that a woman with her specific dark family history does not just sit back and accept whatever convenient story is spoon fed to her. For weeks now, Ethan has been parading around town, boldly claiming to be the biological father of Phoebe, using his classic charm and roguish smile to manipulate the power dynamics and exploit the people around him. But Ava has the razor sharp instincts of a seasoned survivor who has been betrayed by almost everyone she has ever trusted. She has been watching his every move with the eyes of a hawk, noticing the slight hesitations in his voice, the nervous energy in his hands, and the way his eyes dart away whenever the child's true origins are mentioned. If you ask me, Ethan severely underestimated the sheer paranoia and intellectual brilliance of Ava. She knows a hustler when she sees one because she has been hustling her entire life. Ava simply could not shake the gnawing, persistent feeling that this sudden paternity claim was nothing more than a beautifully constructed house of cards waiting to be blown over. So, what does our fiercely independent gallery owner do? She takes matters into her own perfectly manicured hands, and I'm telling you, guys, the lengths Ava goes to in order to secure the absolute truth are nothing short of cinematic perfection. She does not hire a private investigator to do her dirty work. She orchestrates a silent, brilliant heist right under Ethan's nose. Picture this incredible scene. A casual, flirtatious drink at the gallery, a seemingly innocent conversation filled with witty banter, and the exact moment Ethan turns his back to look at a painting, Ava elegantly swipes his crystal glass to secure a pristine saliva sample. Then, with the stealth of a cat, she manages to acquire a delicate strand of hair from sweet little Phoebe during a seemingly affectionate encounter. It is classic vintage soap opera espionage at its absolute finest. Ava meticulously bags the DNA evidence, her heart pounding with the thrilling anticipation of the hunt, and sends it off to a highly confidential, independent medical laboratory. She is ready to blow his entire fabricated story out of the water. But that's not even the craziest part. The agonizing wait for those medical results is enough to drive any normal person completely mad, but Ava plays it with the icy coolness of a poker champion. She continues to engage in daily flirtatious banter with Ethan, smiling warmly to his face while secretly holding a metaphorical dagger behind her back. We really have to admire her incredible psychological restraint. Every single time Ethan makes a bold demand or tries to leverage his supposed fatherhood to exploit her resources, Ava just nods and plays along, knowing deep in her soul that she is only days away from holding the ultimate trump card. She can already taste the sweet, intoxicating flavor of victory. She spends her evenings imagining the exact look of sheer terror on his face when she slides that piece of paper across her desk, exposing him as a complete and utter fraud to the entire town. The atmospheric tension building up in these upcoming scenes is going to be thick enough to cut with a butcher knife, and you can feel the emotional storm brewing just beneath the surface of their every interaction. And then, the fateful, heavily sealed envelope finally arrives at the gallery. Ladies, when Ava tears open that seal, pulls out the laboratory report, and reads the final conclusion, the absolute shock that washes over her beautiful face will give you full-body chills. The medical results are definitive, undeniable, and completely earth-shattering. There is a 0% probability of paternity. Ethan and Phoebe have absolutely zero biological connection whatsoever. The previous DNA test that Ethan had so proudly flaunted around town was entirely fabricated, a masterfully forged document designed to pull the wool over everyone's eyes. Ava is suddenly standing there holding the undeniable scientific proof that this man has been lying to her, lying to the authorities, and worst of all, lying about an innocent child's true heritage. The sheer audacity of his elaborate deception makes Ava's blood boil with a fiery rage. The legendary family temper, which she usually keeps locked away beneath her sophisticated, artistic exterior, is about to be unleashed in full, terrifying force. But that's not even the craziest part. Ava does not waste a single precious second. She immediately summons Ethan to the gallery under the guise of an urgent business meeting, and the moment he steps inside, she discreetly locks the heavy doors behind him, cutting off any possible avenue of escape. When Ethan walks in, wearing that signature arrogant smirk and oozing false confidence, he has absolutely no idea he is walking straight into a deadly lion's den. Ava does not yell at first. Instead, she uses that chilling, quiet, dangerously calm voice of hers, the specific tone that lets you know somebody is about to get completely destroyed. She slowly, deliberately slides the authentic DNA results across the glass table, tapping her fingernail on the bold printed words. I can already picture the color instantly draining from Ethan's face as his eyes scan the words 0%. Ava demands immediate answers. She demands to know why he would orchestrate such a massive, elaborate lie, how he managed to tamper with the original medical records, and who he is truly working for. She corners him, her fury radiating through the dimly lit room, absolutely refusing to let him spin another web of deceit. Ethan tries to deflect, of course, because that is what he does best. He is a natural-born survivor, a man who has talked his way out of 1,000 deadly situations using nothing but his wit and a charming smile. He attempts to use his charisma, offering half-truths and flimsy excuses, desperately trying to manipulate the narrative one last time to save his own skin. But Ava is not having a single second of it. She fiercely threatens to expose him to the authorities, to the ruthless media, and to the dangerous, violent enemies he has made along the way. She systematically strips away his psychological defenses piece by piece until there is absolutely nowhere left for him to hide. Pushed to the absolute brink, sweating, trembling, and entirely desperate, Ethan finally breaks under the immense pressure. The charming facade completely crumbles, and the confident rogue is instantly replaced by a genuinely terrified man. He looks Ava dead in the eye and makes a tearful confession that will rock the very foundation of this show. But that's not even the craziest part. Ethan tearfully admits the absolute truth. He confesses that he is not Phoebe's biological father, but he desperately swears that his massive deception was not born out of malice, greed, or a desire for power. He did it to protect her. He reveals, with a shaking voice, that he intentionally forged the DNA results and claimed the little girl as his own flesh and blood to shield her from a catastrophic, lethal threat. According to Ethan's frantic confession, if the real identity of Phoebe's biological father were ever to be exposed to the public, the innocent child's life would be in immediate, grave danger from forces they cannot even begin to comprehend. He willingly took on the heavy burden of this massive lie to hide her in plain sight, acting as a human decoy to draw the dangerous heat away from the helpless girl. Ava is completely stunned by this revelation. The fiery anger in her eyes is suddenly replaced by a chilling, horrifying realization. This is no longer just a petty game of blackmail and leverage. This is a terrifying matter of life and death. Ava, now fully grasping the gravity of the situation, demands to know the name. Who is the real father? What kind of ruthless monster or incredibly powerful figure is so dangerous that Ethan would willingly risk his own life, his freedom, and his reputation to cover up the child's true lineage? Ethan hesitates, his eyes darting around the room, genuinely terrified that simply speaking the man's name aloud will summon the devil himself into the room. The tension in the gallery storage room reaches an unbearable fever pitch. You can practically hear the clock ticking in the silence as Ethan slowly opens his mouth, finally ready to surrender the long-buried secret that has secretly driven this entire storyline from the very beginning. He takes a deep, shaky breath, looking around the shadowy room, and prepares to drop the ultimate bombshell that will answer all of our burning, desperate questions. But before the mysterious name can even leave his trembling lips, absolute chaos erupts out of nowhere. The elegant lights in the gallery suddenly flicker and die, plunging the entire room into pitch-black darkness. The deafening sound of shattering glass echoes through the space as the front doors are violently kicked in. A mysterious, heavily armed attacker breaches the supposedly secure building, moving through the shadows with lethal, military-grade precision. This is not a random robbery. This is a highly coordinated, targeted strike designed to silence them forever. Before Ava can even draw a breath to scream for help, the attacker is upon them. Ethan bravely tries to fight back, desperately trying to play the hero and protect Ava, but he is brutally and mercilessly overpowered in a matter of seconds. The sheer, unexpected violence of the ambush leaves Ava completely paralyzed with fear. The attacker does not say a single word, their face completely hidden behind a dark tactical mask, operating with a cold, terrifying efficiency that sends shivers down the spine. But that's not even the craziest part. The mysterious attacker does not just want to silence them with a warning, he wants them completely gone from the face of the earth. Within terrifying moments, both Ava and Ethan are violently subdued, tightly bound, and forcefully dragged out of the gallery into the unforgiving, cold night. They are unceremoniously thrown into the back of an unmarked waiting vehicle, kidnapped right out from under the noses of the local police department. The beautiful art gallery is left in absolute ruins, a silent, tragic testament to the violent struggle that just took place. The brutal interruption of Ethan's confession was absolutely no accident. Someone out there was watching their every move, listening to their conversation, and waiting for the exact, precise moment the truth was about to be spoken. Whoever orchestrated this brazen kidnapping possesses immense power, endless financial resources, and a desperate, psychotic need to keep the secret of Phoebe's paternity buried forever. If you ask me, guys, we have to look very closely at the sinister motive here. Who truly benefits from violently silencing Ethan and Ava? The most terrifying and logical theory is that the mysterious attacker is either the real biological father of Phoebe himself or a ruthless, highly trained operative working directly under his command. This shadow figure clearly has eyes and ears all over our town. Did he attack them to prevent Ava from going public with the explosive DNA results? Or is he trying to permanently eliminate the only two people on Earth who are getting dangerously close to uncovering his true monstrous identity? The extreme level of violence used in the kidnapping strongly suggests that this individual will stop at absolutely nothing to maintain his anonymity. Ava and Ethan are now trapped in a deadly, terrifying game of cat and mouse, held hostage in an unknown location by a phantom who holds all the cards and has zero moral compass. And this terrifying reality brings us to the most heartbreaking and urgent consequence of all. With Ava and Ethan missing and unable to protect her, who is watching out for sweet little Phoebe? The innocent child is now completely vulnerable, a sitting duck in a town that is currently crawling with dangerous predators. If this mysterious monster was willing to violently abduct two grown, resourceful adults just to protect a secret, what on earth is stopping him from coming after the child herself? The rumor mill is already spinning completely out of control, strongly suggesting that Phoebe is going to vanish next. Imagine the sheer devastation and heartbreak if the little girl is snatched from her bed in the dead of night, triggering a frantic, desperate, citywide manhunt. The stakes have never been higher in the history of this show. Is her real father trying to rescue her and take her away to a hidden life? Or is he a cold-blooded monster who views his own flesh and blood as a dangerous loose end that needs to be permanently tied up? We are looking at a masterfully crafted storyline that will fundamentally alter the emotional landscape of this show for years to come. The desperate race to find Ava and Ethan before they are silenced permanently is going to be the most intense, gripping manhunt of the entire year. But the real ticking time bomb, the true emotional core of this tragedy, is Phoebe. Every single second that ticks by brings that innocent little girl closer to the crosshairs of a dangerous, unpredictable madman. Ethan's desperate, elaborate lie was the only fragile shield keeping her safe, and now that the shield is broken, the wolves are officially at the door. Who is the biological father? Will Ava and Ethan survive this brutal, terrifying captivity? And, most importantly, when the dust finally settles on this nightmare, will little Phoebe still be safe, or will she be swallowed up by the darkness forever? You better hold on tight, guys, because this explosive mystery is just getting started, and the next episode is going to leave you absolutely breathless.